Since my last scary reaction video did so well, if you want to go and check it out, right there, right here, just right there in front of me. Okay, go and click on this if you want to go and see all the scary stuff. All right. Last scary reaction video, it did really well, and now I'm back with another episode two, kind of, um, with some more reactions to scary stuff that I've seen and probably heard of, and actually interests me. But before we get on with the video, let me do my intro. Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reacting to the Vita Carnis. A very interesting world that interests me, and I'm going to show you. I'll show you the. It's called the Vita Carnis Living Meat Research Documentary, full footage, which is all of the Vita Carnis stuff that's in one whole video, which we're just going to react to. But anyway, let's get on with the video. So this is the YouTuber I'm reacting to. I'm not gonna say his name because I could be saying it wrong, and I don't want to say it wrong. But this is a fantastic YouTuber who has created a completely different series of a universe. It's really unique. He does these really cool like tutorial drawings and stuff. As you can see, it's talent. It is talent. But the video we're gonna be reacting to is this, since it covers all 7 of these. I think there's 8. There is one that we don't see, and it's in this one, but it is like, it's kind of a bit, we don't know much about it. Warning, this video talks about and shows imagery of graphic content like gore, violence, death, flashing lights. Viewer discretion is advised. Even though that was not as bad as Urban Spook. Federal law provides severe, civil and criminal penalties for unauthorized viewing of this footage. Any production, distribution, or display of this video is prohibited. The possession of the footage may lead into investigation and detention. If released from custody, the appendant will face a penalty of 5 and what? Wow. There you go.
On planet Earth, life has thrived for millions of years. Creatures big and small have found ways to adapt and evolve to flourish in all types of environments. From barren wastes to lush forests, life can be found. Earth has homed these creatures since the dawn of life itself. Only until very recently, things have changed. New life forms have appeared all around the globe and completely changing the balance of nature and what we know about evolution itself. That is why we, at National Living Meat Research, have been studying these new species, trying to help educate everyone about these creatures and their wondrous ways of life. First, what are these new life forms? Since their explosive arrival across the globe in 1931, there has been much debate on what these newcomers are, and where they came from. Are they extraterrestrials coming to invade Earth? Or are they demons who come from hell to purge humanity? From what our scientists have discovered, no. The origins of these creatures are solely to Earth, miraculously out of nowhere. We don't know why or how, but one thing is for certain, Earth is now their home. What these creatures are is mysterious and still not well known today. But here is what we do know. These creatures are comprised mainly of muscle tissue, organs, and bones. They greatly resemble animals with no skin, or store-bought meat. Because of these characteristics, they have been named accordingly as Vita Carnis. The Carnis species consume decaying, organic matter, but their main diet is composed of raw meat, not including their Carnis relatives. The Carnis only appear in places where there is an abundance of crawl, which leads to the first creature of the Carnis species, the crawl. The crawl is a growth of meaty tendrils that closely resemble the small intestine, the only difference being the dark red coloration. These tendrils grow in a similar pattern as vines, mold, or fungi. A primary stem structure is the host to divisions of other, smaller branches.
Bro, look at that. What? But that looks real as well. The fact that it has like an actual picture of this, but it's not. It's not real. This is all fiction, by the way. Obviously.
In each tendril contains a variety of veins, arteries, and other similar organs used to transport nutrients absorbed from its surroundings. The ends of these tendrils are equipped with organelles used to absorb water and organic matter necessary for growth. The source of these organic materials is mainly found in dirt and soil on surrounding surfaces. Using its root-like tendrils, it absorbs the material and processes it into usable energy. Although, the crawl also obtains energy through another means. Using a sophisticated form of photosynthesis, the dark pigmentation of the smaller branches is ideal for absorbing sunlight, and therefore allowing solar energy to fuel the crawl's growth. Because of its efficiency, it thrives in almost all types of environments, easily allowing it to spread across the world, and can be found pretty much anywhere. Its recent inclusion in the ecosystem has caused many major changes in nature's balance. One may assume that the crawl's presence may outcompete any other competitors, but due to its unique life cycle, where old branches fall off and decay into nutrient-rich compost, all forms of life seemingly flourish instead. The crawl's abundance grants plenty of nourishment to all animals, from plants feeding on the decayed crawl, herbivores thriving on increased plant population, and carnivores feeding on both the abundant prey, and are able to eat the crawl as well. The presence of all these animals leave behind waste, which will be broken down and consumed by the crawl, and the cycle begins again. This form of symbiosis leads to an environment where all populations thrive. Humanity also uses the crawl to our advantage. Because of the supernatural rate of growth and its richness in nutrients, it has been sustainably cultivated into domestic farms. The crawl is harvested and processed into fertilizer, which greatly increases crop yield and quality. The crawl may also be used as a food source for humans, and reliably so. But due to its unkindly appearance and taste, it has yet to reach cuisine standards. The crawl also plays a very important role in the next creatures that we have been studying. Sometimes, in a crawl-populated environment, a node of meat may develop on one of the branches. This node will fall off and grow into a functioning organism, and go to live on as an independent animal. This leads us to the upcoming species that we will be discussing. The first of these creatures are the trimmings. The trimmings.
I saw that. Well, I actually got a frame of this. I can't read it though, but if I just like zoom in, I don't know, but there seems to be like a fairy tale book or something.
The trimmings. Trimmings are small animals that resemble skin raccoons.
That's nasty. Look at that. This is horrible.
They are commonly known to have a plump body, round head, small eyes, nose and ear holes, and an agape mouth. They are also equipped with a diversity of limbs. All individual trimmings are unique, each with a different body shape, number of limbs, and other characteristics. One thing they all share in common is that they are made mostly of meat tissue, and are a maximum of 20 centimeters in length, no larger than a basketball.
Okay.
Its life starts with its separation from the crawl. It will wonder to find anything that is edible and able to consume. Although it is an omnivore, being able to hunt meat and forage for plant matter, trimmings are almost entirely scavengers. Their diet consists of rotting plants and meat, including, but not limited to, fruits, vegetables, roots, seeds, insects, and deceased animals.
Okay.
Although its appearance is unsightly, it is a cowardly creature, only fleeing, screeching, and hiding when threatened.
Okay, so it's not
because of its lack of defensive traits, it lies near the bottom of the food chain, making it easily overpowered and picked off very regularly by predators. Naturally, its population would eventually die out.
Oh, oh, this is mass trimmings infestation question mark. Eliminated 400 plus trimmings gathered under a large abandoned satellite dish. And that's all we can get from that. Okay. Okay, alright.
The crawl constantly produces a large quantity of trimming nodes, keeping up their numbers. Naturally, trimmings can be found wherever there is abundant crawl. Trimmings grow at a decent pace, reaching maturity at around 7 months, having a maximum lifespan of 2 to 4 years. Although they are plentiful, humanity has no proper way to implement trimmings into society. Their overabundance has even considered them pests, due to them digging through trash bins and making excessive noise at night. Besides all of this, some people still keep trimmings as pets
Why?
and relatively domesticate them.
It's disgusting, though.
Nuisance or not, trimmings are a wondrous creature. From their plentiful numbers to their skittish nature, they are truly a thing to behold. The next species on our list is the meat snake.
Oh, my God, I got it. This is on the top here. I don't know if you can see it, guys, but it says during the troubles. I think it says on the something, a great storm struck. It was so powerful it swayed the boat. The royal family, I think, it rowed and pushed the prince out into the sea. Okay, there's obviously some story here involving with these, clearly.
The meat snake is a worm-like creature, made of a variety of types of meat, coated in a transparent, skin-like membrane. Its size varies during its lifespan, depending on how much it consumes. When it first separates from the crawl, it is only a few centimeters in length. Eventually, it will reach an average length of 5 meters. Although, under extreme conditions, like natural disasters, war, or plague, it can greatly surpass this length.
Oh, okay, we got something. So the largest meat snake ever discovered. During a sweep of the underground sediments made during the war, a massive-sized meat snake was discovered stuck inside an underground railway. The beast was measured a total of 40 meters in length. It is believed that the bodies gathered during the war were fed to the creature, causing it to reach the unbelievable size. Really? That's sadistic, man. Well, it's not like that's just wow. Nah, that's just. Oh, wait, it says cult activity here. Wait, what does it mean by cult activity?
The meat snake's diet consists entirely of dead animals or parts. A meat snake is incapable of consuming a healthy, living organism.
So it won't harm
The meat snake
us.
locates its food by using a tongue-like organ covered in sensors to touch and feel its environment. The sensors catch particles of decaying meat, notifying the meat snake that there is food nearby. This process shares many similarities to regular snakes, hence the meat snake's name. Once it locates the corpse, the meat snake will open its jaw and swallow the entire body whole.
Wow.
Once the entire body is consumed, the meat snake's stomach will release a variety of chemicals. Some will break down soft tissue like skin and the connection points between muscles. Others chemicals will then ferment and preserve the tissue to keep it from breaking down for as long as possible. After that, the remaining flesh and bones will move along the meat snake's tract and slowly be implemented into its own structure, extending the meat snake.
Oh, okay.
Unsatisfactory parts like skulls, pelvises, hair, and fingernails will be excreted.
Great.
Speaking of skulls, the meat snake will take the skull from the consumed organism and use it as its own. Each meat snake has its own skull, each corresponding to what that one has consumed.
Oh, that's really cool.
During its lifespan, it will swap or replace these skulls if needed. A
That's
meat
really
snake's
cool.
lifespan depends entirely on how much a meat snake consumes. The longest one has lived for was 28 years. The meat snake has no predators and is immune to disease due to its preserving chemicals. The only significant ways a meat snake can die is through starvation, burning, or complete destruction of the meat snake's membrane coating. Interestingly, the meat snake is the only member of the Carnis family that is able to reproduce. When a meat snake reaches an excessive size, and is in the conditions to do so, it will commence mitosis, splitting
Oh,
itself in two. Then the now two meat snakes will
duplication.
go on their separate ways and live on as two distinct organisms.
That's actually really, really cool, but weird.
Meat snakes can only be found in moderate temperature climates, not too hot, not too cold.
So where I live,
Their
basically.
population depends entirely on the amount of corpses available. Where there is death, there are meat snakes.
Wait.
Humanity will use them to our advantage. Meat snakes are a very efficient and clean way of disposing of any meat products. The preserving fluid within the meat snake's body disinfects the carrion, preventing the spread of disease. Humans use meat snakes in butcher shops as a waste bin, dispose roadkill, within war on the battlefield to dispose of festering bodies and parts, and
It is crazy how, like, they use these, like, new creatures as humans don't know. Like, didn't it say something at the end? Like, they've been here on Earth the whole time, but we have never knew about it, and it's all of a sudden just come to life. Like, bro, I think that's one thing that might scare humans is a species that dominates humans, since we are the most dominant species on Earth, even though we are like one of the weakest compared to like other animals outside that can kill us easily. We're the most dominant.
within zoos to dispose of deceased animals. They are extremely tame, not caring if any creature is around them, only acting defensively when it is within consuming a meal. This means they are very easy to tame.
So not harmful to humans.
Overall,
Oh,
meat snakes are a marvelous creature with a very interesting way of sustaining itself. It is an amazing experience to encounter one, as long as you don't mind the smell. Our next creature is the mimic. The mimic. The mimic. The mimic.
I went from actually really good to
Mimic.
I think humanity's done for. Oh, oh, wait, this is here. After being strangled at sea, the young prince eventually was cast to an island. Injured, the prince stumbled his way into a nearby cave. The prince used what magic he could to put himself into a healing sleep. Okay, piece by piece. I don't know if this is in order, but again, something, so. Right, I just want to say, I have seen a bit of this, and I have seen what mimics are. They are terrifying. And there's one bit in this that scares me more, and I'll show you when it gets that bit. So we're just gonna watch it first.
The mimic.
Yay,
The mimic
Manda
is a
Callum.
bipedal creature with uncanny similarities to humanoid anatomy. They greatly resemble humans without skin, with added exaggerated features. These features include extended finger length, longer limbs, bulging, empty eyes, and their most prominent feature, a wide, teeth-filled smile. Although it resembles a happy face, this is due to coincidence, and is only how their facial structure is shaped. The maw of the mimic contains much more teeth than humans, and their teeth is comprised almost entirely of incisors, with some canine and premolars in the back. This tooth composition is ideal for
Look at
biting
this
down
jaw,
onto meat
bro.
and
It's
swallowing
huge.
chunks whole. A mature mimic's diet is comprised entirely of human flesh, human flesh, human flesh, human flesh.
Oh my
Stay away
god.
from me. Come at me. You're dead. Stay away from me. Stay away.
Human flesh.
Stay. So it seems like, actually, wait. It seems like this is the first creature that the Vita Carnis has created as a threat to humans. It's what cruel is like a plant that begins it all. It's beneficial. It's edible. You can eat it. People use it to an advantage, so it's a benefit. Trimmings are like your dog's, cats, but just disgusting. Meat snakes are like your waste disposal from stuff, and you got this thing. which is a threat. How can it get any worse? No, I don't do that. I hate that. Stop.
Because of this, they are found solely around human population.
Thank God this isn't a real thing. This isn't real, by the way. This is all fake. But if I was in this universe, I probably would be dead. I'd be dead. It's where most I live.
Areas. The mimic's life cycle is made of 3 stages. In the first stage, a young mimic separates from the crawl. They closely resemble their trimming relatives, but are thin, sleek, and only have 4 appendages. In this stage, the young mimic will hunt small animals.
Surely because it's like the beginning, to stop mimics from, being who they are, because they seem to evolve, why don't you just kill them when they're in the early stage? If you see an early, just, I don't know, what am I saying?
Moving on to larger and larger as they grow. Once large enough, it will begin metamorphosis into the next stage of life. Once fully transformed, it will resemble the description mentioned in the beginning.
Then
Its
what
hunting
stage
style changes.
Oh, that is... Oh, well. Mimic looks inside home after own escaped. Oh, just imagine, you're just walking downtown, walking downtown, you just, when you went to the pub or something, and you see that thing coming at you, alright? It comes at you, you run home, and it's like, I'm coming in, right? It comes in your house, it gets in, and you climb out the window, right? And you're just outside the window, you're standing right outside your window, and that thing's staring at you. It's like,
Human flesh.
what would you do? Bro, what's even more scary is how, look at it. Look at the eyes, bro. Look how tall it is as well, bro. Damn.
And becomes much more complicated. It now stalks and feeds only on humans.
Oh my
It will
God.
locate human populated area and begin its search for an easy target. To blend in, it may use objects to conceal itself. These include clothing, mannequins, and furniture.
So it isn't just any predator, some humanoid thing that eats people. No, it's got brain cells. It's got brain cells. A predator stronger and more deadly than a human is smarter. So you're basically telling me that thing's smarter than I am.
Oh, dab on them.
Just kill it.
Once a target has been found, the mimic will observe its prey and learn its routine and when it is most vulnerable.
That's
This
horrible.
is typically when the human is asleep at night.
That's nightmare. That's probably one of the worst things ever. Just imagine you going to sleep and then all of a sudden you just never wake up. You never wake up. That's it, Well, you're dead, you wouldn't even know. Yeah.
Once the prey is within position, the mimic will advance silently until it is close enough. The mimic will then execute and immediately begin consumption. Once the mimic has had its fill, it will leave the scene a fair distance away from the human population and begin to digest its meal.
Okay.
Although, in the case that a human is awake, a mimic will use a variety of sounds to either lure or startle.
You're not getting me that third time. Bro, that knock. I've been watching other people react to this, and I always see that knock. I'm like, I didn't react like that though. But I always hear this knock, and it's horrible. I hate it.
Once a human is in place, it will swiftly attack and kill the helpless target.
Right. This. Alright? It's not real, but the fact that someone's recording it, and there's actually a mimic, we actually get to see the mimic, is probably one of the most terrifying bits of the mimic. Of this. Everything's creepy. By the way, you see, when do you hide from something? something, whether it's a human, all right, maybe it's some killer or something. If it isn't going to be a monster. But if ever you hide from someone, why do you hide and keep the light on? Like, bro, the mimic's like, yes, free meal for me. Honestly, you just letting it wanted to kill you, man. Bro, if that was me, bro, I would try and get out the window. He didn't even lock it either. Did he even lock it? He just closed it, and then the mimic's like, come on, come on. I know you got long fingers, but you can just go like, I thought you got brain cells. You know, you can hide behind things, wear clothes. Come on. And it gets worse as well. I think there's another stage that we haven't seen yet. I'm backing up, man. Like, bro, this bit is terrifying. He's breathing heavily. No, that is. Now I know that probably you would think that sounds like just a psychopathic killer, you know, trying to get in and wants to kill him. No, it's not. Just watch. I'm backing up, man. This bit, dude. I hate this so much, dude. Let me give one headphone off, man. Oh, nah, nah, nah. And that's what scares me. Because look at it. It doesn't look like a costume. It doesn't. It looks real. It looks like what a mimic would look like in this universe. And then, no, he's dead. He's dead. He's bro.
Of the mimic's life cycle
Oh,
has
what can
two
it be
potential
worse?
morphs it may develop into. If a mimic has a consistent supply of food, it will
Oh
develop more human-like features.
no,
It will grow skin, hair, and by the end will look nearly identical to a human being. It now can blend entirely into civilization and
no,
lure other humans more effectively.
no, no.
The second type of morph happens when a mimic receives an overabundance of food. It will grow into a larger, more evolved hunter.
What, bro? What does that remind me of? That reminds me of some weird Enderman, bro. Okay.
Its proportions will increase in length, and its humanoid features will fade away. It grows a thick, dark coating of a flexible skin, which is highly durable, and increases in strength the more the elder mimic consumes.
Oh my
This
god.
excludes the face.
Oh my god, that looks like a really terrifying Enderman with no purpleness. Watch out, he might TP, bro. Elder Mimic. Ugh. Why is he... Bro, why is my guy like... Elder Mimic? Yeah. He's taking a picture, but my guy's dead. He's dead. Or she. Whoever. This person's dead.
In a pale pink skin. The mimic's teeth have also moved deeper into the mimic's throat,
Oh my god.
leaving its mouth a toothless grin. It uses the dark hue of its skin to hide seamlessly within a dark environment. Its skills have also been heightened. This makes it...
Basically, you come across this, there's not even a chance of a success.
elder mimic one of the most efficient predators on the planet.
See? See, I think that's what people should fear the most. Is a species on Earth that is more dominant than humans. Something that can kill humans and dominate them, sorry. And that's what a mimic is.
Because of the obvious threat this poses on humanity, nations around the world have released instructions on how to be able to fend for yourself in a mimic encounter. Here are the instructions.
Okay?
1. Avoid going out alone if your location is known to have mimics, or there have been mimic sightings. 2. If you encounter a stationary mimic, seemingly unfazed by your presence, quietly leave the location and alert your local authorities. 3. If pursued by a mimic, get yourself into a position where you are able to flee. Mimics will rarely attack if a person has a clear escape route. 4.
Oh, okay. So if you've got a good way of, like, a good escape plan, it's defeated. But again, these are situations where adrenaline will kick in. You know, it's life or death situation. A monster's are way worse than you is coming at you, and you gotta think really smart. You gotta control your head, yourself. Control.
In the event that you have been cornered by a mimic, roll into the fetal position, protecting your neck, face, and vital organs from attack. Make as much noise as you can to alert any other people. 5.
Oh my god.
If you have a weapon, do not use it. A mimic is fairly resilient, and any strikes or shots on a mimic is not effective enough to bring it down.
A gun's not effective to it. Then what is? If I did about a whole nuke on it, bro. At that point, I would just leave planet Earth and blow it up. Nah, that's it. We're moving to a different planet or somewhere. I'm not staying on Earth. If this is like,
Down in time. Instead, use it as a barrier between you and the mimic to block any attacks. 6.
this is RE4, bro. You gotta parry attacks. Nah.
In a situation where a mimic is hunting in the immediate area and is not aware of your position, hide somewhere low, like under a bed or behind other furniture. A mimic will not linger too long to search for prey and will move on.
Also, another good tip: don't. So the other guy that was hiding, the reason why he probably died is because of the flashlight and the breathing. He made so much sound. I would have been I would have been crazed out if the mimic didn't hear him. But
Be safe, and avoid any encounters with a mimic at all costs.
yeah,
Next up, the Harvester.
I think we got something here. So I think it says, but the prince's sleep was long. He slept for what seemed like forever. As he slept, the land around him changed and grew. It was unrecognizable when the prince first arrived. But the sleep still needed time to heal the prince and much more time. But it kept the prince safe while he rested, guarding him from the elements as the land changed. Do you think the prince is the definition of the Vita Carnis, maybe? Because they're all different, like something Carnis. Because they all resemble like the same thing as like flesh, meat, you know? They're all red. They all look like they're like living things but without skin, pretty much.
The Harvester.
All that stuff.
The Harvester is a large, bulbous mass, with a large amount of tendrils spreading from the base. The bulb measures around 3 meters in height and 2 meters in diameter. The tendrils, on the other hand, can extend up to 150 meters in diameter horizontally.
Damn.
The Harvester is a specialized form of crawl that grows in a unique and deadly way. A harvester is created when a node, that will grow into a harvester, instead of separating, continues to grow. Eventually, it will grow tendrils of its own. It uses the energy provided by its mother branch and expands its reach further. Its tendrils, hidden just below the surface of the ground. The harvester is equipped with 2 types of specialized tendrils. The first type is bulky and flat. They lie the closest to the surface. These branches are lined on each length of the tendril with spines, extending in the shape of a bear trap. On each side of the branch, those particular spines have a vein that feed into them, that pump 2 types of venom. On one side, the spines can inject a neurotoxin, which will attack the nervous system of whomever it is injected into, causing sudden paralysis. The other side can inject an anticoagulant, which when injected, prevents blood cells from clotting.
So you paralyze
Whenever a
and die of
large
blood
animal
loss.
moves across the area armed with these tendrils, the branches will clamp onto the animal and thrash violently. Once the prey has been injected with both venoms, the tendrils will rest and the prey will immediately collapse.
Oh.
The animal will be unable to move due to the paralysis, and the wounds caused by the thrashing spines will not stop bleeding. All the prey can do is lie patiently, until succumbing to blood loss. Once the prey has bled out, The second type of tendrils come in. They lie below the spine equipped ones. These branches are thick, but very sturdy. They share similar anatomy to the small branches of the crawl, equipped with organelle that absorbs nutrients. These tendrils sense the blood, and move their way to the surface and begin to absorb the vital fluid. Once the blood has been consumed, the tendrils will wrap around the body and begin to shuffle downwards. This movement loosens the soil and slowly pull the body underground. Once secure, the tendrils will continue to feed until there is nothing but scraps. The nourishment absorbed by the tendrils will be sucked back into the main bulb of the harvester. This bulb houses all the vital organs and the venom glands that pump into the spines. The nutrients are then converted into usable energy.
I
The
don't do stuff
remains
like this, man. I
underground
think I'm doing it.
decompose, providing a rich soil, causing very prominent plant growth, which then attracts more animals.
That's smart,
A
actually.
strange behavior the harvester displays is its choice of diet. The spines will only activate on larger animals, allowing smaller ones to pass by unaffected. The spines will also not activate on some species of bird. There are a couple theories as to why this happens. One, it could be that attacking smaller animals would cost too much energy for what they get in return, making it not worth the time.
That's pretty smart, actually.
Another could be that smaller animals may attract larger animals or predators, allowing a safe place where prey may thrive and lure more predators. It truly is astonishing. Although it is a spectacular creature, it is also very dangerous. The harvester is decently rare, only populating sparse areas in the northern hemisphere and woodland forests. If you are stung by a harvester, there will be no way of helping you.
I don't know if you can read that, but all I can see is that it says family attacked by harvester, I think. When hiking, I think it says. Yeah, when hiking. And then all it says here says authorities refuse to handle the harvester. I think that's something to do with like you can't go up near it because it will just it will just trap you and then kill you. Blood loss and paralysis. Because you won't be able to move and you'll die of blood loss, which is a slow, painful death. Arguably worse than a mimic because a mimic kills you straight away. Typically without you knowing.
The best thing you can do is avoid encountering a harvester in the first place.
Yeah.
If you are hiking, take note of any warnings or signs saying that there are harvesters around. If you also notice an abundance of lush, ground-dwelling plants in a forested area, and there are no signs of wildlife, this is suspicious and you should leave the area, staying close to the base of large trees or rocks.
Alright.
If you find yourself in the middle of a harvester ground, do not panic. Sudden movements may activate the tendrils and will inject you. Although a harvester is rather forgiving, do not risk any skittish movements. Remain calm. If you have any objects with considerable heft, like coats, backpacks, or full water bottles, gently take that object and lightly toss it towards the bulb, and away from your escape route. This will activate the spines on where the object lands.
So what if I carry
distracting
like
the bulb
stones
for a
and
moment.
stuff?
You will then slowly begin to do wide shuffles away from the bulb. If possible, throw another object when you are certain you are a fair enough distance away, just to be safe. Continue until you are completely sure you are out of harm's way. You may come out unscathed, but don't be too obnoxious, or you will be a harvester's next meal.
Ooh.
Next up is the host.
Wait, I think I got something here. So there's something during the time of landship. The island critters. The critters were struggling. I don't know. I can only read some of this stuff. Then go wherever they could maybe. I don't know if you can read that, guys. You can. I don't know, but yeah, I can't.
The host of influence. The host of influence, more commonly referred to as the host, has its name derived from a host who invites guests to an event. Not to be confused with a host, a harborer of parasites or disease. The host is a semi-humanoid looking organism. It has the structure of a head, torso, and arms. Other than this, It shares no other characteristics. The lower half of the host is comprised of a mass of fibrous tissue and tendrils that burrow into the ground to hold the host in place. Instead of skin, the host is covered in muscular tissue fibers, tendons, and veins. In some parts of the body are covered in a meaty plate, used to cover any large exposed areas, but allowing movement. The host's head has a smooth surface where the face should be, attached to a crooked neck, which houses a slit in the front used for feeding.
Oh, okay.
On the host's back is a mound of pores. Protruding from these pores are hollow, hair-like structures, extending outwards. These hairs are barrels that release spores produced within host's body by being fired into the air. These spores are hazardous, so keep clear of them at all costs. Luckily, the host is rare, only found in North America.
So we don't have to worry about that.
Obtaining info about the host is a very risky and daunting task. This is because of their rarity and of how dangerous it is to be up close to one. The spores released by a host is very dangerous when inhaled. A host will release a cloud of spores into the air, which will be picked up by wind and carried great distances. If an organism inhales the spores, the particles will find their way into the organism's brain and infect them. An infected organism will show no symptoms of infection right away, but a couple hours after infection the infected organism's behavior and thought process will change. The first symptoms that appear are restlessness, sluggish movement, numbness of joints, and lack of coordination. Then more serious symptoms appear over time. These include dizziness, migraines, impaired speech, and trembles. If you, or someone you know show these symptoms, contact poison control or emergency services. After a total of 6 to 7 hours after infection, the organism will cease all activities they were previously doing and begin to walk. The direction the infected will walk is towards the host whose spores have been inhaled by the infected individual. If the infected makes their way to the host, they will kneel down in front of it, expose their vital organs, and the host will promptly gut and remove those organs. The host will consume them and discard the leftover scraps. However, if an infected organism doesn't reach the host within a 36-hour span or is treated for their infection, the effects will wear off and return back to normal.
Okay, so you can survive it.
If a host is unable to find prey or doesn't like its current location, it will unroot itself and move to a new location. Their scarce numbers and the hazard of being around one.
Only known photos of a living host. Oh my god, there's only 2, so only 2 people have managed to get pictures of it. Wow.
Makes getting info about the host very daunting. All you need to currently know is that the host is extremely dangerous and should be avoided at all costs. Next, the monoliths.
Here we go. Although one day the critters found the cave while searching for food, they found the prince in the trance of his healing sleep. The critters were so aware and struck and enchanted by the prince's magic. Ooh, okay.
The monoliths. The monolith is a very new creature, only showing up in June of 1972, in the area of. There are only 7 monoliths, all of them located in a circular position, 1.5 kilometers in diameter. This ring of monoliths surrounds. The monolith is a Titanic-sized being, measuring roughly 120 meters in height. Each monolith has 2 trunk legs that are firmly embedded underground. The legs connect to a torso.
They're huge.
The creature itself is made of hundreds of thousands of meaty strands, tightly woven together to form the structure. These strands end at the neck, fusing into a solid mass of hardened flesh in the shape of an upside-down triangle, with a hole in its center. On each side of the monolith where arms would be, there are dozens of long, rope-like appendages. These reach just barely to the ground. At the creature's feet, the strands go deep into the earth and extend horizontally a decent distance away. What the monoliths do is simply stand and do nothing. The only activity documented that the monoliths have done was in during this period, they were extremely aggressive. When the group of were making their way to the city, the monolith that they had passes roared a deep bellow and swung its appendages at the team, completely wiping them out. When military vehicles were dispatched, once they got close enough top the monolith, it roared another call, this time releasing an EMP blast, completely knocking the vehicles out in the vicinity. Finally, long-distance rockets were fired and struck the creature. Although
That gives me chills, man. That reminded me of like Subnautica, you know, like underwater, and then you get like the Leviathans working. That's what it reminded me of.
it regenerated at great speed and resumed its stance unscathed. Eventually, the area has been fenced off and is now restricted to all. Ever since, the monolith stands silently, now only a grand spectacle of awe and mystery, only adding more questions to these meat beings. And finally, the last creature on this list is...
I got a frame of it here. I'm not gonna read it because I can't read it. But if I'm zooming in here, maybe if you guys can see that, maybe I have no idea if you can. But that is, I think, the last one. I think.
The singularity is an orb comprised of a dark-colored mineral with hints of luminous colors within its core. The singularity is estimated to be 1 meter in diameter. The orb has qualities that are not well understood. The singularity typically can be found suspended in air by an unseen force. There are also a variety of reading that have been documented coming from the orb itself. Various things like magnetic fields, energy signatures, and other pattern-like signals released by the singularity. The population of these creatures is unknown. Almost all info about the singularity is hidden or confiscated by officials. We were only able to receive one classified document about the singularity being held by...
Wow. Singularity. Probably what the monoliths are probably surrounding, I'd say. If it's in a circle, but I'm getting chills. If the monoliths are circling, these big titan things are like the protectors of the singularity. And the singularity is some kind of like isn't it like some like big huge circle in the sky, like a black hole or something that's just like not deadly. It's gonna be like what like the heart of the Carnis, the Vita Carnis maybe. Theories. Just saying.
marvelous and majestic world that exists today, it's as extraordinary to have such strange and mysterious beings appear all around us. Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration and discovery of the lives of these living meat creatures.
Well, guys, that was an interesting series. If you want to see more from the creator, this fantastic creator, by the way, shout out to this creator. I'm not going to say his name because, or his name, whoever this person is, fantastic. I can't pronounce names very well, and if I do, I might get it wrong, and I don't want to be wrong. So there you go. I've subscribed. I've liked. It's fantastic. I think it's a great series and unique. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.